สวัสดีครับ ผมชื่อดีชผมพูดภาษาไทยไม่ได้แต่ผมพูดภาษาญี่ปุ่นอังกฤษเวียดนามได้ So that took me a few shots, but anyways, you get the point. Right now I can speak a little bit of Thai. It's really bad. Pronunciation is rough. There's a little bit more Thai that I can do, a little bit more communicative Thai that I can do, like walking down the street. Like last week I could ask how much things cost, and now I can kind of understand the numbers, especially numbers like 5, and while I can't say what 10 or whatever it is, I can understand when they're saying things like 35, so kind of getting the hang of it. I'm kind of getting some numbers down. I'm kind of being able to understand a little bit of what's going on. My Thai is getting better, but it's still total trash because we're just in week 2. So let's break it down. Let's see exactly where my Thai is in different levels, and let's talk about the different studying methods that I use in order to get to where I'm at. Now remember, it is week 2. This is a 2-year journey. And whatever language you're learning, you can come on this journey with me with whatever language you're studying. And in 2 years, you'll be a boss. It's just like that. In 2 years, you'll be a boss. Remember, you don't have to be, I happen to be living in Thailand, but you don't have to be living in your whatever country. Like if you're studying English or whatever, or Japanese, you don't have to be living there. All right. When I studied Japanese, I was not living in Japan. When I studied Vietnamese, I was living in Vietnam. Both languages I studied for 2 years. Of course, living in the country does give you a lot of advantages. I'm not going to cap there, but it's not necessary. Simple as that. At the end of the day, if you want it, you're going to get it. You put in 2 years every day, you're going to be there. Okay, let's take a look at my progression. First, I'm going to talk about my writing. My writing is still trash. I can't really write that well. I can write a little bit. I text a little bit. Definitely I can write a little more than an introduction. I can text some basic questions, things like that. But it's still, all in all, it's still trash. I can't write worth anything. Speaking, still trash. I've only been studying for 2 weeks. You saw me just attempt my intro. That took a couple takes. I can ask some basic questions. I can understand some basic numbers or whatever. But all in all, my talking is still trash, as expected. I always tell folks, when I study Vietnamese and when I study Japanese, it took me a little over 1 year for me to be able to actually say anything, for me to be able to hold any kind of conversations. That first year, I couldn't say anything for Japanese and Vietnamese. And my peers who may have been studying with me or whatever in their journey, usually they could start speaking, saying something within a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. They could start saying things, But what usually happens with me, I'm weird. I'll be in a situation where I can't say much of anything, but then after a year, it all just hits me, boom. And then it almost feels like overnight, I'm just start being able to just talk to people, And that's what I'm expecting. But yeah, you might be like the majority of my friends who, after a month, 2 months, you can kind of say something. So power to you. Now, how is my listening abilities? My listening abilities right now are still trash, but maybe that's the part that's like seeing some nice progress, because like I said, I'm able to hear numbers, and along with body language and stuff, I'm able to pick things up. Well, one thing that did, I guess the first thing where I heard somebody saying something, they weren't talking directly to me, but I heard and understood it. So that's, a big wow, was bikes. I was at school and one of the ladies was helping me buy a shirt or something like that. And after finally choosing a shirt that was suitable with myself, then, she was talking to the seller and she had said, and excuse my pronunciation, but something like cow chop, something like that, which means he likes it. Yeah, this is the one he wants. He likes it. And I heard it, and I understood it. I was like, wow, I finally understood something where it was a situation where they weren't talking to me, but I understood what they said because I had saw the word cow before, I had saw the word chalk before, and boom, put it together. About my reading, I've made some progress, but reading and writing, I've come to the realization that this is going to be a long journey, just like speaking. You know, Vietnamese, Korean, Russian, these are all languages where I've studied the writing system enough to where I could like read something, phonetically read something, you know. Vietnamese, of course, I can read straight up, but like Korean and Russian, I can phonetically like read it because they got a good system. I guess Spanish as well. Thai is not like this. Thai is gonna be a journey. Japanese was also a journey, you know? And then this is where kind of the big problem that I'm having with Thai is, because with Vietnamese, I could walk down the street, read everything, and that helped to improve my vocabulary big time. But Thai is not like that. I can't read, you know? I'm starting to be able to recognize a lot of letters, but I can't tell the tone. You know, I can't pick up on what is the tone supposed to be. So that sucks. But don't worry, I'm gonna figure it out because, you know, Japanese was another language. They use a lot of Chinese characters and, you know, it's a journey as well. But in 2 years, I still, you know, had it down. I was able to speak it. I was able to read nicely. I was able to write nicely. So it's gonna get done, but it's gonna be a journey. And now let's get into the part that you probably wanna hear the most, and that is the study method. How am I going about studying Thai? What am I doing to study Thai? How am I getting to where I need to be? And maybe what methods can you use or should you be using to learn your language? Now remember, you gotta remember the most important rule is you gotta enjoy what you're doing, period. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you cut it, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you won't be following the second most important rule, which is to do it every day. Now, I'd say both these rules are equally as important, but one can't exist without the other. You have to do it every day. But in order for you to do anything every day, you have to love what you're doing. Okay? So if you don't love what you're doing, give it up. So any advice that I give you, basically, take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, if you don't love it, it's not gonna work for you because you're not gonna do it every day. The only advice that I would give that I think, no matter if you love it or not, you shouldn't be doing it, is watching like TV shows in your target language with English subtitles. So you may enjoy watching anime with English subtitles if you're studying Japanese, but I've never seen anybody learn Japanese by watching Japanese anime with English subtitles. I've seen people learn Japanese by watching anime without English subtitles, but with English subtitles, I've just never seen it happen. So that's the only advice I would say. It doesn't matter that you love it, it just doesn't seem to work. Other than that, off the top, there are methods that I think are better and methods that I think are worse, but in the end, it's all about, do you like it? Do you enjoy doing this? Okay, so now with that said, what am I doing? I always preach to people, don't open up grammar books and study and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? This time I'm actually documenting what I'm doing, so I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, and I let myself down. I'm studying grammar. And I think I've always studied grammar. I just didn't notice that I studied grammar, to be honest. And this is the reason why I didn't notice it. I'm not just opening up a grammar book and just going through it. No. There are certain things that I need to say that I really want to say, and I don't know how to say it. And so I'll Google some grammar just to figure out those things that I want to say. Let me see if I can think of an example off the top. Like I wanted to buy something or whatever. So I had to Google how to express the idea of want, which is yad. So I can say home yad, home yad. Excuse my pronunciation. I'm just starting off, but that's the idea, and it works, you know. So that's one way. There's other ways to express want, but that's one way to express want. I actually did go out of my way to look up that grammar because I actually needed it. And I actually wanted to use it. So it was fun, you know. I wanted to do it. It wasn't like I just picked up a grammar book and just, Anyways, the other thing, I am using online apps to language exchange with friends. That's my primary way of language exchanging at this moment. I'm not meeting with people. I did have a buddy last week, but I've changed towns. So that buddy, he's not here anymore. So online is the primary thing that I'm using to meet with people to language exchange. So I have a buddy in up near Bangkok who I'm language exchanging with. Which takes me to another important point. I'm actually kind of having to teach my buddy how to language exchange with me. So there's like, this is the meat of what I'm talking about. I see people doing this all the time. When their language exchange buddy is teaching them, at the very beginning, I don't know any Thai. So I'm just asking a lot of questions in English and I'm wanting some Thai answers, you know? And my buddy will answer, like for instance, one time I asked my buddy, how do you say, I forgot what the word was, but how do you say futon in Thai? And essentially my buddy answered, oh, futon in Thai is blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't remember. The problem there was that at the end of the day, I should have learned the word futon, which I forgot already, but that's part of the game. You always forget. But if my buddy would have, every time I asked him, how do you say blah, blah, blah in Thai, if my buddy would have responded futon and then the rest Thai, you know? Instead of saying futon in Thai is, that in Thai is portion should have been said in Thai, not in English. So I had to teach my buddy, no, you gotta answer in Thai. And you can make the actual keyword that I'm looking for bigger. So you can say like futon, then answer in Thai is, then say the word, boom. So I know, okay, I don't understand, I don't know all those words in between, but I can guess because I have a brain. He said futon, blah, 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 and then boom. So I know boom is the word, and all those words in between, logically speaking, would be in Thai is. So I had to teach my friend, that's how you do it. Don't just use straight English and then at the end of the day, I only collect that one word. No, that's not how. So that's a big thing when you're language exchanging. Make sure that your language exchange partner is using your target language as much as possible. Even when they're teaching you the alphabet in their language. They shouldn't, nobody has to use, if you know zero Russian and you go to a Russian to learn Russian, they shouldn't have to use English to teach you the Russian alphabet. No, they use Russian to teach you the Russian alphabet. It's very simple. They show you the alphabet, they make the sound, you attempt to make the sound. If you get it right, they nod their head and say correct in Russian. If you get it wrong, they shake their head and say incorrect in Russian. And then they say, the sound is blah, 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 emphasizing the sound. And that other portion about the sound is, they don't emphasize it, but they still say it in Russian. And you logically will get what's going on. And so at the end of the day, you'll know your alphabet. And you'll also be able to understand when someone says things like correct or incorrect, or the correct sound is, or blah, blah, blah. You won't really know how to say those things, but you will understand it when you hear it. You know, you'll understand it when you hear it. Also, another thing, there's a couple key phrases that I actually had to learn, that I actually went out to specifically learn because I noticed that I was asking them a lot. So when you notice that you're asking some of the same questions over and over, you might as well just learn how to say those phrases in your target language. So a question that often I ask over and over is, how do you say blah, blah, blah in Thai? So I noticed, okay, I'm asking this question over and over. So I just tell my friend, hey, how do you say blah, blah, blah in Thai? So of course my Thai friend tells me, kun put blah, 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 ben pasa Thai dai mai krap. So that's, you know, how you say, and that's how you say, what do you call it? Like, oh shit. So that's how you say like, you know, can you say blah, blah, blah in Thai? I don't really know how to translate it. That's not important. I don't care about translating. Basically, if I ask someone that, then it'll make them say the word in Thai. So if I say, kun put futon, then pasa Thai dai mai krap, then, you know, assuming my pronunciation was good enough, they will tell me what futon is in Thai. All right, anyways, this is kind of a rough down of my study method for this week and how I went about it. So, you know, if whatever reason you're not at this level yet and you're wondering how to step up your game, try some of these methods. Maybe it'll help you out. I know it'll help you out if you try some of these methods. Get yourself an online friend. Have them, even if you already know the alphabet, have them teach you the alphabet, but only use your targeted language. Okay, that's one thing they can do, because that's always a good thing to do. Get someone to teach you something you already know, but in that targeted language. That's one of the amazing ways that you can really step up your game. So that's the video for today. That's an update on where I'm at, and that's a few tips on what you can do to step up your game. Listen, follow me for the next 2 years, and I guarantee you're gonna be speaking whatever your targeted language is. You know, every week I'm gonna drop some tips, I'm gonna give you something, and I'm gonna give you my update so you can see me actually growing. So you can see I'm not just lying, I'm not just capping. You know, this is legit. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.
Rather slay a dragon than sit and watch it happen. I'm on another level, man, I'm spilling out the ghetto. What's a couple quotes if no one know you said them? Slay a couple dragons, but no one know you did it. You don't owe me shit except a little